One of the most difficult weeks to be a Tottenham fan in years. But today, we need Thomas Frank to drum into those players that it's us against the world. We need Christian Romero to get into his teammates and say, we can do this. We can shove everybody's comments, everybody's abuse right back at them. The Etihad is a great opportunity to do that, but it will undoubtedly be hard. Welcome to the pre-match show for the Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur Premier League game. Guys, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. If you weren't here with me for last week's warm-up show and watch-along against Burnley, this is how it works now. I'm going to do warm-up shows to go through the team news and all the latest Spurs news for half an hour or so before the game. And then at today, 12:25, I'll be moving over to BigUp, which is the platform where I do watch-alongs now for every single Spurs game. If you look on the ticker at the bottom of the screen here, it shows you how to go and join my community at BigUp. Also in the description box below on YouTube, you can see the link and what to do. You basically go to the link, bigup.com/the Spurred On podcast, and click on join the community, and we can go and we can do the watch along together, guys, because BigUp's a great platform actually, where not only can you listen to me host the watch along, but also you can join the community and then join the stage yourself. And then at halftime, I will be going to video calls with you guys. Anyone who wants to speak to me over video call at halftime of the watch along and give me your thoughts on how the first half went, and maybe a few afterwards as well if we get time. So yeah, like I said, pre-match warm-up show here, and then the watch-along over on BigUp. So do join me there. But let's go into the team. And there it is along the bottom. Vicario, Porro, Spence, Van de Ven, and Romero make up the usual back five. We shouldn't underestimate, I don't think, how lucky we are at the moment to have basically all of our players fit. And especially, Romero and Van de Ven. I hope I'm not jinxing it by saying that. But having that back five is a huge boon, and something I'm sure that Ange Postecoglou looks at us now and is like, well, I don't think I'd have come 17th if I had that back five available the whole time. Then, kind of surprisingly, I'd say, Thomas Frank has gone for the four at the back today. So just in front of the back four is Palhinha and Bentancur in that very, very solid double pivot. Doing a lot of slide tackling in Palhinha's instance, and Bentancur taking the ball on the half turn and doing a lot of kind of running up and down and jockeying. And then Pat Matasar once again playing in that kind of slightly more advanced role, but really just as an engine up and down the pitch. We know what Pat Matasar does. He's having a brilliant start to this season, and not only is he brilliant at pressing and winning the ball back, but also he does make good late runs into the box. So they're the three in midfield: Palhinha, Bentancur, and Sarr. And then Johnson again on the left, Kudus on the right, and Richarlison keeps his place, putting paid once and for all to those rumours that Tottenham offered him as part of the Eza deal in the week, which I thought personally was utter tripe, and most likely something else probably from the Arsenal side or the Palace side trying to destabilise Spurs, or maybe an agent here or there. It was completely ridiculous. So that was the first team. The bench is Kinski, Davies, Danso, Vuskovic, Gray, Bergvall, Odegaard, Tell, and Solanke. Again, because we've got all of our players fit, just a really, really strong bench. What I would say, though, is although it's strong in Premier League terms, in Manchester City terms, it's not even touching the sides. The City side today, Trafford in goal. They're clearly keeping Ederson. He's on the bench, Ederson. They're keeping him out because he's still angling for a move to Galatasaray. I don't really understand why. Like, is he kind of tired, Ederson, and he just wants to go to Turkey and just phone it in a bit? I don't really know why him and apparently Akanji keen to go to Turkey. I don't really get that. But yeah, Trafford, Lewis, and Alt-Nouri. Alt-Nouri's another good signing for them, wasn't he? Stones is fit at the moment, so he plays with Diaz. And then Reinders, who is the Dutch player who everyone's raving about after his great performance against Wolves last week. Gonzalez and Bob, and then Marmoush and Haaland. I missed a player out there, haven't I? I don't know who let's have a look. Let me have a look on live score and see who that last player is. That's a bit embarrassing. I've forgotten to write down one of the players playing for Man City. Ryan Shirky, of course. Ryan Shirky is playing in the number 10 role. And, my superstition tells me, because he was on Tottenham's list for so long and we were interested in signing him, that he'll probably come and bite us. But I was talking about how, our bench is strong, but not in comparison to Man City. Their bench: Ake, Doku, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Nunes, Ederson, O'Reilly, Kusanov, and Foden. absolutely hundreds of millions of pounds worth of talent on that bench for Manchester City today. So that is something that is quite formidable. Let's just go into some of you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching so far. Over 100 of you watching currently. Do give this video a like, guys, if you haven't already on YouTube. The more likes we get, the more Spurs fan suggested videos it'll be put into, and the more people we will get hopefully coming across to Big Up for the watch along, where I'll be starting that watch along, like I said, in 25 minutes time. Okay. PKD81. Thank you for your comment. It says, Kudus, 1 goal and 1 assist today. I have foreseen it. Yeah, I'd take that. Do you think if we got 1 goal and 1 assist from Kudus, that would be enough to win us this game? Who knows? Sai's going to go well. Another regular. Thank you. Says, why is Sa the 10? I'll tell you why. Because we don't have any 10s left, because Maddison and Kulusevski are injured. So he's, Frank is playing very kind of physical kind of narrow side, difficult side to beat, and Sarr helps. It's a very kind of structured, physical midfield three, isn't it? A dumb potato. Thank you for your comments. Says, what do I think of Spurs playing a back four? I am surprised, I have to say, and I wonder whether he's playing it because he maybe thinks Pep would be expecting us to play the back five. Part of me wishes we had the option of the big long throw from Kevin Danso, but maybe that'll come in the second half. But what I do trust about Thomas Frank is that he has a plan. He has a plan for every game. So on that basis, I'm sure he's looked at Man City with Justin Cochran as assistant, and he's like, this is the best way we've got to win this game. So let's see what happens. Davide, thank you, mate, for commenting. Says, team looks good. And Super Cute Cutie says, we need to play a counter-attack and defend deep against Man City. I think that is what will happen. I don't think we'll have a lot of the possession today. And we'll probably play pretty direct. And it'll be a lot up to the likes of Richarlison and, again, Kudus to be able to hold up the ball. And that's why I think a lot of stuff will probably come down our right-hand side. On the left, with Spence and Johnson, both as right footers playing on the left, realistically, not very balanced on that side. So any football that gets played down that side, you'd think will automatically be pushed across to the centre and over there into the right-hand side. Super Cute says, win the midfield and break Man City attack is the key to win the game. I think one of the keys to being in this game and trying to get a result is not to concede an early goal. I think with the kind of week we've had in general and the way that people are abusing Tottenham at the moment, like, I know this is all off the pitch, but it's like momentum can make a difference. And therefore, I just think, keep it tight, make it hard for them like we did against PSG, right? Make them play sideways and backwards and sideways, because we're so narrow in between the kind of 18-yard, the width of the 18-yard box all the way down the middle of the pitch. Make it hard for them, and then make them start doing things that they don't want to do, kind of long shots and probably, just forcing it a little bit. That's kind of, I think, what's going on, what will need to happen. Beetle Boy says, I saw a few watch-alongs on YouTube last season. What's the reason for the change of platform? Well, just kind of businessy reasons, basically, mate. But also, the long-term plan has always to be doing watch-alongs on my own platforms. And hopefully, if you enjoyed some of the watch-alongs last year, I was doing, for those of you who don't know, I was doing watch-alongs on Chris Cowlin's channel and on We Are Tottenham TV. We Are Tottenham TV, actually, the reason I stopped doing that for them was actually I moved house to South London, and their studio is in Potter's Bar, and it just became kind of untenable, kind of time-wise and business-wise, for the amount of time I was having to spend going to Potter's Bar and back. It's kind of over 2 hours each way. It was 4 hours out of my day, and kind of time-wise, I couldn't really justify that anymore. But yeah. Big Up is a really great place to come and watch my watch along. So do come and join me there. Like I said, look at the strap along the bottom. If you're not already a community member over on Big Up, just go to bigup.com/Spurred On podcast. Press the join the community button. And there are some really exciting things coming on Big Up as well. So I'll be doing all the Spurs watch alongs there, but also I'll be doing interviews with other Tottenham content creators there as well. But in the next few weeks, they're launching this brilliant Fantasy Premier League feature where in every single watch along we do, we can all play Fantasy Premier League with a chance of winning money just within that game. So we pick 11 players out of the two sides from that game, and whoever wins the league table of points based on that game alone then takes home the pot of money. So I think that's a really exciting feature and a good reason to not only be doing the watch-alongs on Big Up, but also for you guys to come and join me. Davo says, looks like a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I would have thought so. Juicy J, thank you, says, come on, you Spurs. And also says Sarr has been decent there. Yeah, completely agree. Davo says Tyler Dibbling is gone too. That'll frustrate Levy. Yeah, how do you guys feel about Tyler Dibbling going to Everton? I have to say, I'm absolutely shocked that he's gone for £42 million. I get that he's a talent, but bear in mind, Tyler Dibbling had already left Southampton once a few years ago. He went to Chelsea and he became homesick very quickly and therefore went back to Chelsea. Everton have now spent £42 million on him. For me, it was a bit of a risk, and I'm glad that Levy hasn't spent £42 million on Tyler Dibbling, because I fear that it, and it might not happen, but it could become another Jack Clark incident. Remember when we bought Jack Clark from Sunderland? Was it? No, it's from Leeds, was it? Yeah, we bought Jack Clark from Leeds. Sorry, he now plays for Sunderland. And we spent a lot of money on him, kind of comparatively to what that money is now. It's probably quite similar. It was, above £10 million, I think, at the time. And it was, 6-7 years ago, maybe. And Clark just never, ever broke through. And therefore, we had to basically write that money off. At Everton, I think Tyler Dibbling will get more guaranteed minutes and he'll have a chance to really fulfill his potential. However, I saw Tyler Dibbling play in the games against Spurs last season, and he was anonymous. So it would have been too much of a risk for me, but that doesn't mean that he's not a talented boy. I'm sure he is. Godfrey says, hello there, B. Hello, mate. Thank you. And Juicy J asks, has he signed for Everton officially now? Yeah, pretty much. It's a here we go, which, unless you're a Spurs fan, usually means it definitely happens. Cantab, I think, is getting it about right. Bit of a siege mentality today. Yeah, the only thing I'm kind of sad about is that, we've gone to the Etihad many times before and had to have that siege mentality. But then we've had, like last year, a good example, Maddison and Kulusevski, just between them, kind of ripped Man City apart. And today, both of those players injured. So there's a lot of pressure on, I think, Kudus to hold the ball up, Richarlison to hold the ball up, and maybe get some crosses in for Johnson to try and score at the back post. Also, set pieces, of course, will be huge. That is where we've definitely improved attacking set pieces this season. So hopefully we can put City under some pressure there as well. Samson says, if we win, Savinho might want to join. Do you know what? I've actually gone too far with the Savinho stuff now. I'm not even that keen to talk about it that much, because if Man City keep saying no to us, then why are they continuing to press? Like, yeah, I get that the player wants to come, but Man City, they don't need the money, do they? They don't. So I think Savinho would have to press Man City really hard to say, I definitely want to join Spurs. And if that's not going to happen, then don't waste any longer than today on it. Like, yes, I get it. We're at the Etihad today. Levy can speak to, Man City direct about it. And if nothing's going after today, then move on to other targets. Because what have we got? Like 10 days left of the window? And we've already embarrassed ourselves a couple of times. We cannot be embarrassing ourselves again. Simon Maguire says, not looking forward to this as much as I was a few days ago, but we should still give City problems based on the first 2 games. Yeah, I mean, I said it in my video yesterday. City gave up a fair few chances against Wolves. Wolves were at home. So you'd think that Tottenham should have found a way on the transition to cause some trouble to Man City. Let's hope that happens. But we're going to have to be strong. We're going to need an absolute captain's performance from Romero today, I would have thought, and a great performance from Vicario as well. He's going to need to be strong defending set pieces and not getting bullied. Let's see what happens, basically. But I'm looking forward to it. I think the key thing was it becomes a bit of a free hit today because we got that win against Burnley. If we'd lost at home to Burnley last week, like we lost at home to a lot of those kind of clubs last season, today would be a very, almost like West Ham levels of negativity going on, wouldn't it? But I think Frank is, you can see from the preseason games, from the PSG game, from Burnley last week, you can see that Frank is getting into them in terms of what he wants. They're starting to pick it up, and I think they like him. Cantab, yeah, because I talked about moving South London. Cantab says, South London, Woolwich? No, not Woolwich, although I have lived in Woolwich before, I'm afraid. And Simon says, you moved where? Pretty sure you've relinquished your Spurs ship. I don't think that works. I think you can be a Spurs fan wherever you live around the world. And Beetleboy says, you ain't moved to Woolwich. No, lol. No, I haven't. Niam, thank you for your comments. Says, these early kickoffs really make or break my weekend. Yeah, great point. Hopefully we'll get the next chapter of Richarlison's hopefully redemption. Yeah, and let's hope Richarlison stays fit. Let's hope Mickey van der Ven stays fit. Listen, if Richarlison could get another good performance today, and he is a streaky player, he goes on streaks, but we're going to have to make him chances. And I feel with Rishi, if his all-round game is good and he's holding it up well, then the rest of it comes into it as well. You can see the confidence kind of seep through him, and that's why we're going to need a good start from him today. When he's at his best, he's winning kind of silly little free kicks in midfield off opposition players. He's winding them up. He's getting into their faces. So we need some of that today. But Spurs are going to need to remain disciplined as well, not get a man sent off sillily early in the game or anything like that. Juicy J says, what players are we looking at now? That guy at Leicester still. That's El Canoose we're talking about. Well, Crystal Palace were very close to getting him as a replacement for Eze. It's pretty amazing, isn't it, how it's very clear, I think, in hindsight, how Eze was really the one, and his agent was the one stalling on the deal, because all the reports we heard, weren't they? It was like, oh, we have to wait for Crystal Palace to sign a replacement, or they want Eze to play in that Europa League game. Well, he didn't play in the Europa League game, and Leicester still haven't signed a replacement. So Spurs were just getting mugged off by Eze and his agent as they waited for desperately hoping that Arsenal came in, and we had our pants pulled down. But I will stick to what I've been saying all week, which is I don't really blame Eze. Like, I think we all knew he had an Arsenal connection. He wanted to go there. And they are further ahead than Spurs in terms of, in reality, chances of winning the Champions League or the Premier League. But I blame Daniel Levy for allowing himself to get into those negotiations. He should have enough contacts within the game. Eze's with CAA base. And he should have had enough contacts within the game to kind of sense, I think, that Eze wasn't going to come to Spurs, that he was waiting for Arsenal to come in. Or just slap down the £68 million release clause 3 months ago or 2 weeks ago, and then it's up to Eze, isn't it? He has to say yes or no in that moment, before Havertz got injured for Arsenal, which a lot of people are saying is one of the reasons it happened. But who knows? Maybe they would have still just matched the release clause then. Who really knows? Samson says, come on, we are Spurs with Thomas Frank. We can win. I like it. Oh yeah, Simon Maguire says, isn't Jack Clark at Ipswich now? Was that loan? That's right. He I think he went to Sunderland and now he's at Ipswich. That's right. He was bought there. He scored the other day, actually. Eugene says, is it true Real Madrid agree loan to Rodrigo to Spurs? I doubt it. I cannot see Rodrigo coming to Spurs. I think Man City want Rodrigo. And that is like the dominoes potentially falling if Savinho was to come to Spurs. But I feel a lot of, I mentioned it before, but I feel a lot of danger with this chase for Savinho. It's very hard to imagine us getting that over the line, I have to say. I will be doing, of course, Monday morning, as I do every single morning, trying to get all of my videos every day out by 9 a.m. now. And Monday morning, I will, of course, be doing a full latest Tottenham transfer news video. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like the cut of my stuff, do press that subscribe button, press the bell button so you get notified every time my content drops. Also, once again, guys, nearly 200 of you watching now. I will be moving at about 25 past over to BigUp, where I'll be doing the watch along for the Spurs versus Manchester City game. All the details of how to join my community on BigUp are there in the strap below, and also in the description box below. So just press on the link or copy and paste the link into your browser, and then press join community for the Spurred On podcast. I've got over 115 of you over there already. We had about 80 of you watching with me last week. Let's try and get that up over 100 today. That would be really exciting. And then as the season goes on, we're going to build this community on BigUp. We're going to play this cash fancy Premier League game together. I'm genuinely so excited about that. When the guys at BigUp, Ali at BigUp, told me about that a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, that is a genius idea, that when we're watching our teams play watch-alongs, we also have investment in a fancy Premier League table for that individual game, and whoever does best can win money. Let's face it, we all think we know best. And then whilst we're doing these watch-alongs, for Spurs games, we will find out which of us actually does know best about footballers and fancy Premier League. And I'll be honest with you in advance, I'm rubbish at fancy Premier League, so I don't expect to win much money myself from this one. Cantab says Palhinha has to man Mark Reinders. Let's see what happens. Look, Reinders does look like a great player, but they had Wolves away last week. It was a little bit of a procession. I'd like to think the tempo of the game will be a bit higher today. And, it's important. One thing I think Spurs do have going for them today, and maybe I'm clutching at straws a little bit, is this team, Spurs' team, because we've only made kind of one signing in Kudus, they've been together a fair amount of time and they know how each other works. Whereas with Man City, there's quite a lot of new signings. Even the players from January, they've only been together about 7 months, and the players from this summer. So, maybe we can take advantage of that. Try and up the tempo. Try and get the press really high and see what happens. DBNS says, yes, are you doing a live watch along? Yeah, I was just talking about it. I'm sure you heard, but make sure you go into the description box to find out where. Oh, here we go. Interesting one. Romari says, I watched Barnaby at Amersham Newcross doing stand-up. Welcome to South London, Barnaby. Oh, thank you so much for coming. Yes, that was the Amersham Arms. That's a good pub and always a good new material night for stand-up. Michael Zeng says, I thought we were linked to that Leicester guy that Palace want to replace Eze. We should go for him to cripple Palace for playing us out. Yeah, he is on our list, and his deal to Palace has gone a bit quiet. So I wonder if Spurs are trying to get involved there. Do you like him? Who do you want to come in as the 10? I'm a little bit like, I've been so burnt by what's happened this week that I'm standing off it a little bit. If Paz is the one that comes through, then okay, they must believe in Paz. If El Canous comes through, they must believe in him. I think there were reports, weren't there, earlier in the week that Thomas Frank wants 2 number 10s. So maybe Spurs are going to have to end up getting 2 of those kind of young, exciting number 10s, like Paz and El Canous, and then they'll have to, they'll have to play out some minutes together, and we'll see who settles quicker. But they have to get somebody. They really do have to get somebody. I mean, Thomas Frank talked this week about us having a good squad. And listen, when we're all fit, it is a good squad. Like I said, I think Ange Postecoglou will be looking at it, just being like, God, I wish I had this squad available. But when will the injuries start to come in, realistically? It will happen. It will. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Cantab says, no watch along here. No, Cantab not here. So please, I know it probably feels like a bit of a stretch, but it's only a click of a copy and paste of the link to BigUp. Put it in your browser, and it's really easy, and it's just a watch along over there. You just have to join the community. Very, very easy, and it'll be a lot of fun. So do come on over. Beetle Boy says, got to say, Thomas Frank gives me more enthusiasm than Ange did. One thing I love about Thomas Frank so far, he is an ace, absolutely elite communicator. That is clear. So what I think Thomas Frank will be, undoubtedly, and we've seen elements of it already, he'll be a bit more pragmatic, just like kind of Conte and Mourinho were, and Nuno a little bit. But the difference is all of those 3 were not good communicators, not good modern communicators, whereas Thomas Frank is. So he'll communicate with the press better, he'll communicate with the fans better, and most importantly, he'll communicate with the players better and put his arm around them and show them that, that what they're doing is great, and not shout at them like Conte did or kind of belittle them like Jose did. And Nuno was just a little bit too flat, and I don't think Nuno ever really believed that he should be Spurs manager, whereas I really get the sense that Frank does know this. Oh, I'm just seeing a quote from former Spurs player Paul Stewart, who is he's talking at City to kind of City's pitch side TV people, and he said this. He used to play for Man City as well, Paul Stewart. He said, I fear for Tottenham this season. He also said, Tottenham are the same now as when I was there playing for them. Inconsistency is a problem. They can win 4-0 or lose 4-0. That is the kind of thing that I hope the players heard that while they were warming up. Honestly, I really do. This kind of thing. I hope that Thomas Frank has stuck up pictures of all the abusive tweets and articles that Spurs have had this week, stuck it up on the dressing room wall, and they go there and cause a massive surprise today. That's what I want to happen. I really do. Ed Sanderson says, come on, you Spurs, feeling relaxed on getting a result today. I love that positivity. I really do. Randin, thank you for your comment. Says, I'm scared with Richarlison taking the helm. Solanke will fall from his position. We'll see how it goes for both strikers today. Solanke obviously didn't get much of a pre-season, so I love that Richarlison has started so well. It's actually scored 13 goals in his last 9 games for Spurs, so really good stats. I love that he started this well because it allows Solanke to kind of almost get a pre-season without the pressure of having to start games. You know that Solanke just runs his heart out whenever he's on the pitch. So actually him getting a proper pre-season in is going to be massively important. Michael Zeng says maybe we can try Solanke at 10 with Rishi at 9 and interchange. I think if they were to play up front together, I think it would be more like they'd both be number 9s. Neither of them are natural number 10s, I don't think, I have to say. Randin says, Akliouche is someone we should consider. I think we are considering him. He's on the list. If we can try to get Xavi Simons and change his mindset, we'll compete well. I think Xavi Simons is going to go to Chelsea, realistically. I don't want us to be in a negotiation fight with them. We will lose, and it'll embarrass us again. Akliouche is on the list. He's wanted by other clubs, but sell him the dream. Sell him the dream. GCJ says, I doubt Paz will come to us. Paz is the player he's an Argentinian attacking midfielder, kind of number 10 maverick, plays at Como, previously played for Real Madrid, and they have a big buyback clause and sell-on fee. So it's not only a deal you can only do with Como, you have to do it with Real Madrid as well, which makes it much more difficult. Simon says, I'd like Paquetá as a number 10 personally. West Ham would love that. Yeah, we've already bought one player of West Ham. I was absolutely astounded last night. Paquetá scored an incredible goal last night against Chelsea, the opener. And then I think in his momentary not really realizing what's going on because he was so excited, he ran to the fans and kissed the badge. And I'm like, what are you doing that for, mate? There have been so many reports about him looking for a new challenge and Man City being interested or maybe Spurs being interested. You can't kiss the badge potentially a few days before you might leave. But it would look very bad on him if he left at any point now. Philip Boy says, any news on that Monaco guy? He looks very good. That's Akliouche. That is Akliouche. And Andy's made a good point. Injuries are there already. Yeah, of course, with Maddison and Kulusevski. But I guess I mean like more injuries on top of that. We've known we're going to have those injuries for a while now. I'm talking more like more kind of injuries coming. Bent Larson says, can Spence be the weak point today? I think Spence is a brilliant defender. I really do. And I think he'll be working defensively a lot more than going forward today. So I think it's good to have him in. And again, similar to what I said with Solanke, Udogie's missed a lot of preseason. So Thomas Frank said this week that Udogie is coming on. He started training with the group. So I think allowing him to have a preseason before throwing him straight into the first team is really good, I have to say. And Randin says, Kudus will be very excited today. I want to see him opening his account. Yeah, I think we all do, guys. All right, it's 12:20. I'm going to go off now, and in 5 minutes, I'm going to start the watch along stream over on BigUp. So once again, apologies for pushing this so hard, but I really want you all to come and join me for the watch along on BigUp. I know it seems like a lot, but it's really easy. Just copy and paste or put into your browser, bigup.com/the Spurred On podcast, or copy and paste what's in the description box below. Come there, press join community, and in 5 minutes time, I'll be doing the live Tottenham versus Manchester City watch along, and we can only hope that Spurs will perform there just as well as they have done regularly down the years. And if we could perform anywhere near how we did last season, where we beat them 4-0 at the Etihad, then that would be something really incredible. Di asks, is this one of the websites where we need a VPN? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can just type it in and join the community, guys. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you over on BigUp for the watch along. Come on, you Spurs.